We're gonna win.
Faltaba muy poco tiempo. Parecía que era el título de Los Ángeles.
We're gonna win this game.
That day, the last 20 minutes, whatever, 10, 20, 15 minutes, it showed that we were a team.
A weird game, one of the weirdest games I can remember, really.
Era la final, los dos mejores equipos de la temporada, entonces no es fácil remontar y fue por eso fue tan especial, porque el grupo siguió marcando, siguió atacando, presionando, buscando el balón y fue claro, ¿no? Llegamos a los goles.
And we welcome you to Foxboro Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts, where it has been an interesting scene for the last 24 hours, the first MLS Cup. The weather has been a factor. We'll remember this first MLS Cup. We'll also remember the nor'easter of '96 over the last 24 hours. It has rained nearly 4 inches here in Foxboro, and right now the temperature at 54 degrees, winds gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. The condition right now, heavy rain, and the forecast is for more rain. But folks, they will play soccer here today. This championship game will go on.
It rained a ton, and a lot of us weren't sure that the game was going to happen. But then that afternoon, the commissioner decided the game was going on. The field was drenched, waterlogged, like you could barely warm up even because the ball would barely move. And I remember we only brought like 2 pairs of socks per player, something like that. And so we actually had to go into the locker room, and us reserves had to wring out our socks and give them to the starters, and then take their socks, wring out their socks, and put theirs on. And we did that same thing again at halftime.
Sitting next to me, a member of the New England Revolution, and he'll be working with us today. He just got back in from singing the national anthem and did a great job, Alexi Lawless. Alexi, let's talk a little bit about the conditions, how it's going to affect these teams, individuals, and what the outcome might be.
Well, from a fan standpoint, you can see here in New England, they really don't care. They laugh at this. I mean, they've all been laughing. This is something they've seen before. From a playing standpoint, it's going to affect the game. I don't know who it benefits, but the ball's going to be skipping, and then there's going to be a little bit of lack of control.
The morning when we woke up, we couldn't believe the game was going to continue. I don't know if we'd ever played anything like that. But it was a Sunday afternoon. It was the first championship, and it was almost impossible at that point to postpone the game. So we knew we had to make the best of it, and when we got to the stadium, the field actually looked somewhat playable until we actually got out on the field.
I don't think that it was playable.
You would think nowadays you might cancel the game. It was just so hard to even pass the ball. The ball would stop rolling. It just changed everything.
Major League Soccer began its inaugural season, and today it will come to a close. The Western Conference champion, LA Galaxy, and the Eastern Conference champion, DC United. Eduardo Hurtado in the diminutive Mauricio Cienfuegos. In the center circle, LA will start off with the ball. SC Bahamas blows the whistle, and the first MLS championship game in history is underway.
There was a special group of players. I mean, when you talk about the talent on that team, when you talk about the competitors, guys like Richie Williams, Eddie Pope, those guys are quietly strong competitors.
Fue una selección de varios países. Habían 6 de la selección de Estados Unidos, 2 de Bolivia, 1 de El Salvador.
And you look at the players on the field, and I mean, every which way you look, there's a champion and a winner.
Well, sometimes it's hard to explain because you don't see those kind of players anymore.
Nice move by Salcedo, still on the ball. Salcedo, Hurtado denied the pass. Now we'll finally send it to the outside for Cienfuegos. They're using some of that magic in the middle. The header! Goal! Cienfuegos to Hurtado, and LA strikes first.
Yeah, we had gotten stretched out, and the ball got played out wide, and so I was the center back, next player going out to close down the space, and they put in a good ball, and Hurtado's such a big player, and that's what he did all year. I mean, LA was probably the class of the teams, one of the best teams in the league at that point, and we knew that you give them an inch and they'll take a mile, and they did, and they put it back, they put it home.
Hurtado The first goal in MLS Cup history, his third of the postseason.
We knew we had some good players on the bench, so that we knew. But the difficult thing to know was how that game was going to change in our favor, because it was just like a battle of field position, and the ball would stop all the time, and so there wasn't really a rhythm to the game.
How far is Kobe Jones coming for a freshman walk-on at UCLA, the U.S. national team?
In between, he was coached by his current coach with the LA Galaxy, Lothar Osiander, on the '92 Olympic team at Barcelona.
Hurtado taken down, play on advantage, Armas in the box, the left foot shot, goal! Hurtado was tripped. The referee says play on, and Armas capitalizes with the second goal of the game.
Yeah, no, I picked up a ball that just came loose maybe 30 yards out, and I just took on a couple of guys. You know, again, I'm not, don't find myself in those spots all the time, but I put together a nifty play and got on my left foot and cracked it. Went lower left-hand corner, and even when you see my face on the goal, I look back and my kids watch it. I was in disbelief. Not that I've scored plenty of goals in my life. Well, people don't realize that, you know. More that we're up 2-0 in Major League Soccer first championship ever. Like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. Like, nothing about me scoring. Like, we're gonna win this game.
Sí, nosotros habíamos estado muchas veces abajo en el resultado aquí en Washington y nosotros remontábamos siempre. Teníamos la ilusión, si no, no hubiésemos hecho ese sobreesfuerzo que hicimos, porque fue un sobreesfuerzo, era 2-0 contra un gran equipo, era la final, los dos mejores equipos de la temporada, entonces no es fácil remontar y por eso fue tan especial, porque el grupo siguió marcando, siguió atacando, presionando, buscando el balón y fue claro, ¿no? Llegamos a los goles.
Etcheverry marked by O'Carroll. Etcheverry knifing through. Etcheverry, it's in the net! It's in the net!
Well, his left foot was very special. I mean, he could literally put the ball wherever he wanted. And the funny thing about he would approach the ball the same way, but right at the end he could contort his foot or his body to slice it, drive it, float it, you know, drag it. I mean, he just had a way of delivering the ball that was so unique. You know, and being around him every day, like, you knew when I was playing striker a lot, and so when I would play with him, I knew that if I just ran, that I could turn my head away, and if I just ran and made a good run in a direction, that as soon as I looked back, that the ball would just be landing right where I needed it. And that's how it always worked out with Marco. So, you know, he was gifted in that way. And then he had, you know, he's a very right-brain guy. He was clever, he was tricky, he was, you know, always, if everyone thought the ball was going there, he had a way of putting it there. And so, you know, I mean, he was almost like an artist.
Es algo especial. Tengo algo que me ayuda a mí, de Dios, creo yo. Creo Dios porque veo cosas diferentes. Yo veo como si estuviera mirando de arriba la cancha, ¿no? Entonces, cosas que nunca lo he dicho, ¿no? Pero yo siento, cuando jugaba, sentía de que yo tenía algo de arriba que yo podía observar así en milésimas de segundo.
Etcheverry dribbles into the area. Etcheverry down the end line, across the middle, off the post. The ball goes in the net, but they're going to wave it off. Etcheverry, some miraculous dribbling.
Etcheverry can't believe it, because what a dribbling exhibition. He treated us to there in a very limited amount of space here. Watch him go through several LA Galaxy defenders.
Entro por el lado derecho. Estaba muy mojada la cancha, con agua, y ahí encaro con 3 jugadores, paso, sale Campos, lo amago a se la doy a Raúl Viajarse y él resbala un poco, entonces no le da bien. Fue mala suerte porque en el rebote lo agarro yo, pero ya yo estaba fuera de juego, pero una jugada espectacular, sobre todo para la lluvia.
Knowing that with a 2-goal lead, that every goal, you know, if they can get the next goal, it's game on, right? Then you're one play away. So yeah, I mean, with Marco, as much as we tried to take him away from what he does, play make and set up final plays, we feel like, and it's my job primarily, and I think mainly with the conditions and everything, we did a pretty good job. He still makes a bunch of plays where he's weaving in and out of playing, setting up some plays, and of course, a couple of set pieces I think that we don't do well with. So.
Goal! Campos beaten at the far post as Tony Sana sends it home, cutting the lead in half, and DC United's dream lives on.
As we've seen in the past, Phil, the 2-goal lead in soccer, the most dangerous lead there is, because now the momentum shifts. As just a moment ago, the LA Galaxy had everything under control, but under control here is Marco Etcheverry striking that very accurate left-footed cross, as he is able to do with that golden left foot. Look at how high Tony Sana gets to get in behind Hurtado, to pound the ball down into the net, to slice the lead in half.
The struggle that we had that year, going 2-7, going into games where we were down, we always knew that we had an opportunity, that we had a chance. And it was just clawing back a little at a time, and we knew that if we could get the first goal, we knew the second would come, and we knew we had an opportunity to win it.
And Onalfo have an eye on him. Towards the post, loose in the area, shot by Medved, falls for the goal! We're tied at 2!
And it's Etcheverry driving the ball into the box with his left foot. Look at the wicked swerve on this ball. Campos fishes it, but he does not fish it far enough away. And then a miraculous first save by Campos. Looked like he had saved the day, but Medved, as you said, Phil, persevered. But this is the problem here for Campos. He does not punch it clear. He does make the first save. Medved, though, then crams it into the net underneath an outstretched Jorge Campos.
I mean, it was 2-0, and it didn't seem like it was a game that we were going to be able to get back into.
I just never lost the belief, and that's something that you see in some players when they don't believe in that, even though they're down 2-0. I never lost that hope, I never lost the belief, and it showed in that game too that we came back from losing.
Tony Sana scored, and then Sean Medved scored in like the 85th minute, and then going into overtime, it felt like we had all the momentum. A weird game, one of the weirdest games I can remember, really.
Hicimos muchos goles con Eddie ese año. Había una jugada donde él llegaba al primer palo, al primer poste a anticipar. Entonces, esa fue una de las jugadas que tuvimos durante todo el año preparando. Creo que hizo unos 4 o 5 goles Eddie Pop.
John Hart's the captain of the midfield. Jaime Moreno, near side, looking for Diaz Arce in the middle. Moreno double-teamed. Noamos tries to force it free, and it will go out across the end line, and it'll be a corner kick for DC.
Moreno, number 9 for DC United, having just as much trouble getting through that huge puddle there near the end line as he did getting past the 2 LA Galaxy defenders out in front of him.
Sean Medved calling for the corner. Will spin towards the box, and the 6. It's headed home. Eddie Pope heads it home at the top of the 6. DC United stands alone as champions of Major League Soccer.
It's a corner kick, and I'm on the near post. He floats in one of his classic, I think he just clips one in, on a dime, and if I could do it over, could I jump? And, immediately, you don't know if you ever get that chance again.
Yo voy a ser honesto, yo no sabía que se terminaba el partido ahí. Y varios de los compañeros no sabíamos que se terminaba, que era el gol de oro. Porque nosotros pensamos era 3-2 y seguía el partido. Porque yo tengo la posibilidad de preguntarle a Jaime, ¿por qué tanta locura? No, ya somos campeones, me dice. Y ahí yo empecé también a festejar porque no me había dado cuenta, no sabía que era el gol de oro.
We stormed the field. I mean, I think I was one of the first, I think it's maybe the fastest I've ever run. I remember being one of the first ones there, and Eddie slid, and I remember just like Superman, head first, diving, and then the pile coming together, and it was euphoric.
You couldn't have written a better book.
It wasn't just talent the talent team, but it was also guys that they fight. And that day, the last 20 minutes, whatever, 10, 20, 15 minutes, it showed that we were a team. And that's what team does to win a championship.
Commissioner Doug Logan, present him the trophy.
On behalf of MLS, I'd like to present the first championship trophy to DC United, Kevin Payne, Bruce Arena, John Harkes, true champions.
Thank you. Johnny.